Hey guys, I just want to do this quick rundown of what happened to my marriage. Just because I feel like sharing, and number one, sharing. And number two, while I'm mostly healed from it, every once in a while, like last night, I had a conversation with some of my gym bros, all of whom are straight, which just sucks. But and they were like, wow, that must have hurt a lot. I'm like, it did at the time, it doesn't now. So, started the story, it was 15 years ago, and I moved from Detroit to Wisconsin, to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and there is a real place called Oshkosh, Wisconsin, for a job, because Detroit, the auto industry had imploded, which was fun for me because I lost my house and all kinds of other fun stuff, like every friend I'd ever had. Move to Wisconsin, go out the first night, he saw me. I didn't see him, or at least I didn't recognize him. But there was another guy that hit on me pretty hard. And he was, oh my God. Blonde, blue-eyed, built like this built, except with a better belly. I'll talk about that later in another video. Body dysmorphia. Anyway, so it takes us another month, which was my birthday. And we finally meet, and I was 38 and he was 21. So he turned 22 2 months later. And we had this I was September 13th, he was November 13th. We meet on my birthday. So for our first date, we went to the mall in Appleton and bought cologne for me. And I paid for it because, it was a date. It wasn't like my birthday. The blonde guy, though, baked me a cake. He was a TSA officer. He was hot. And he made me a cake. And we hung out for about a month or two. And then, of course, things heated up with my ex-husband. And so that he became my boyfriend. Within a month of him being my boyfriend, I bought him a ring. I'm not going anywhere. Where is it? This one. This ring. I have it now. It's kind of a dick move, but I needed it. So anyway, a month of dating me, I bought the engagement ring. So that was a lot of fun. Obviously, I'm like this randomly romantic / go way too fast kind of guy. I did, though, in my defense, it sat in a box in my table for 2 months, and I told him about it, and he looked at it and he said, "I like this ring. This is a really nice ring," and then put it away. I said, "We're not going to discuss this yet. I just saw it and wanted to buy it, so I had it for when it's available for you and you're ready. We can do it." One night, we were getting ready to go out in Appleton, but we're in my apartment in Oshkosh, and he walks in, he says, "Which drawer was that?" And I said, "It's over there." He walks over, opens the drawer, takes the ring out, sticks it on his finger, and then that was it. We were engaged. So, hopeless romantic schmuck, but at the same time, it was cute, and it's an interesting story, And I'm like I have to have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? There has to be romantic stories behind what I do. It's just a part of me. And some guys find it cute, some guys find it strange and overwhelming. And for those that find it strange and overwhelming, thank you. I didn't waste my time. For those that find it endearing, I'm not sure why you're waiting. But anyway, I digress. We wind up moving a lot. My job is, if I don't have the right company, my job is stressful and annoying. And if I'm in the wrong place, it becomes quite evident that I am not a happy camper. Currently, I love my job. I can't even say that enough. This place has just been treating me like God. It's been treating me like a god, and that's been great. for a change. But so I was with a company in Ripon, Wisconsin. There's a place called Ripon, for 3 years. And then we moved out to La Crosse, Wisconsin. For 2 years, I was a quality engineer and then a quality manager at a company that had been split off from Cummins. There's a reason why I'm bringing that up, by the way. And then this seems to be my word. And then I moved to Virginia. I almost moved to Illinois. Thank God I didn't move to Illinois, although I would have been in the industry I'm in right now. Anyway, moved to Virginia. Hated that place. Hated that job. I'm not saying Virginia, I hate you. I'm saying the place I was in, I hated. I was like so I lived in Detroit. I'm used to being in a multicultural, multiracial environment. I actually lived in a neighborhood where I was the only white person. Me and my ex, Aaron, at the time, lived there. And we were the only white people there. And it was great because everybody treats you much better. It's really annoying people. When somebody that's not like you comes into your community, you should treat them well. So anyway, enough of that. I moved to Virginia, hate that place, leave, come to Indiana. I can't say that I love Indiana, but we lived in Indianapolis. We rented a house. It was a shit. Oh my God, I hate that place. But it did its job. Bought a house, and that was a struggle. It was on a pond, and it was 2,700 square feet, which was way too big. But at the time, we were like, hey, we can afford this, and we could. It was really weird. Wound up moving around a bit, and then things started changing. We had the COVID, of course. Everybody went through the trauma that is the COVID, which has really messed up a lot of people. But in his world, something changed, and I'm not sure what it was, but he started drinking every night and then staying up and singing. So like he would turn on Disney or put some YouTube stuff on that really, so that he could sit there and go, and it was 2, 3 in the morning. So I have to get up at like 5 a.m. I have to be to work at 7 a.m. And at the time, I lived an hour and 15 minutes from work. This was before gas was so expensive. So I'm like being woke up every night. And this went on for 6 to 8 months. Finally, I'd had enough. This was just toxic. And I'm like, dude, do you want a divorce? Is that what this is? Is that what this is about? This is bullshit what you're doing to me. And he stood there and he said, is that an option? I'm like, what? That was not meant to be an option. That was kind of like a threat. That was me being passive aggressive. I'm going to be honest because who am I kidding? I was just pissed and needing him to get a reality check. And hey, got a reality check. Sorry. I have a speech impediment. You will notice it every once in a while. And it's when, you'll figure it out. He said, is that a possibility? I'm like, we need to talk about this. The next day, I come home and there's a letter on the door. Take it off, look at it. It is a decree of divorce, summons kind of thing. I'm like, what is this? It's from a lawyer. So I text my ex, at the time my husband, of 6.5 years. I text him and I'm like, hey, what is this? He says, oh shit, she wasn't supposed to send that yet. And I'm like, what? She wasn't supposed to send this yet? For this to be this far, you had to have been working on this. He's like, yeah, well, I've been thinking about it. I've been talking to some of the lawyers at the courthouse. He works for the county in law enforcement. I helped him get the fucking job. Right. Anyway, so I'm like, you had to have been working on this. And he says, yeah, I'm talking to some of the lawyers at the courthouse. One lady said, hey, this is all you got to do. She pulled up all the documentation. It's only going to take 2 months. We should be golden. He says, I want the house. keeping the Great Dane. I'm like, of course. He says, you can have Wolfie. Wolfie's a little terrier. I loved Wolfie. I said, you can't separate them. They are a bonded pair. Odin has not lived a moment of his life without Wolfgang. Wolfgang had Axel, our Great Dane, before, as his, when he was a little bitty puppy until Axel passed away. And he went a week alone with us before we had Odin. I said, you can't do that. You can't separate the dogs. So it's like the story of Solomon and the baby, right? He was being the douchey one. So he kept the dogs. He kept the house. By the way, there's $100,000 in equity in that house, and I did all the work on it. I'm seeing a pattern here. Anyway, so that was April 11th that we started the divorce proceedings. June 1st, I moved out. And that was the hardest thing I've ever done. I have a picture of all of my stuff, the stuff that I said, this is mine, I'm taking it with me, sitting in my garage. I took a picture of it because I wanted to post it, and I needed that words. English. I speak English. I needed that feeling. It's dark, but you can see the stuff. And that was where I was mentally. And it took me, 6 to 8 months to get out of that spot. And in the meantime, I went from 260, and now I'm 185-ish. I'm not weighing myself. I'm opposed. When I look in here, I can see fat, but when you go like this, that's muscle. Oh, sorry, go like this. That's muscle. That is muscle. I had somebody grab me once and go, wait a minute, that's muscle. And I'm like, why did you do that? The guy ran. It was a lot of fun. I love people. So then from there, my life moved in a completely different direction. Got this apartment, pay way too much for it. I pay more for this than I did my house. And the electric bill here is insane. But I have a gym that's like a quarter mile away. And I would go there 3 days a week, and I would hike. And I would hike 9 miles a day, 7 days a week. And on Saturdays and Sundays, it was more like 18 going on 19 miles. And I did that for a year. That's how I got over all this. Hiking, being in my head, being out in nature, and just not having that recollection that my life had just imploded again for the umpteenth time. It's just, it wears you down. But it might wear you down. But I lost 80 pounds. I look much better than I did. I lost 80 pounds and I put back on 10. And it's all right here. And there. Oh, some people like armpits. Did you know that? Anyway, so I've rambled enough, I think. I do want to go through, I'm going to do a video on how I lost the weight, like as in food, supplements, and workout. Obviously, hiking. I did 135 miles one week. I had the week off, and I just hiked and hiked and hiked. And I messed up my feet. So I would suggest going slow. But so that's going to be the aim, this channel, and you're going to just find out I ramble. And sometimes it's entertaining, and sometimes it's stupid. But mostly it's out of love. So I'm going to end this with, I love you guys. I love you, dude. Have a great rest of your morning, and keep on being you. Thanks.